Oh, what happened to our background? Somebody was in here messing around. Weird. I didn't even know that wasn't there. I'll put it back because pressing.
It is. My camera is not even.
Hello. Oh, what happened to our background? Somebody was in here messing around. Weird. I didn't even know that wasn't there. I'm gonna put it back because thing.
My camera's not even.
Media assets. There it is. Now we're at the beach. That's good. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't want to sit on a black page. That's just weird.
No.
But you're all short sleeved and flowers around. It's like spring at your house. I'm still in my hoodie.
With Kansas, a little bit wary because it could be pretend spring and then winter a couple days. So you have to be like.
Yeah, we're getting 70 this weekend. For those of you who don't know, I'm in Michigan. 70 Friday and Saturday, and then it's going to be back in the 40s. Takes us out. We just have to roll with it. So I'm still in a hoodie. I could go out without a coat today, but definitely not without my hoodie. So anyway, welcome to launch. It is Thursday. We are excited to have you with us today. We will be talking about and quoting. So once you have someone come to you with an idea of what they want to do on vacation, the next step is to do the research and to figure out what a trip can look like for your client. And then, of course, quoting it back to them in a that gives them as much information as they need and help them make that final decision. So we're going to talk about that day. Are you working on anything right now? We're requoting, Becky?
I did Hawaii. I have
Wait.
clients that, yeah. So that's and it's
Lots of
brand new.
research for why.
Yes, and it's brand new. So I've been picking everybody's brains, and yes, I really have been in Pleasant Holidays. I think you were the one that
Awesome.
suggested
Yep.
it.
I
So
use Pleasant Holidays. Yep. I
Yep.
used Rika recently.
Ooh.
They're great. I have I'm working in Italy right now and don't want the traditional tourist to go to Rome and Venice and Florence and whatever countryside, and they want different accommodations. They want to be able to like rent a boat and take it out and do other things. So it's going to be a different kind of trip, but that does require a lot of research. So it's really that we're covering this today. Okay, so we are going to talk about what research and detailed quote looks like and how to find and present information to your clients. I just want to know where this picture was taken because that beach is gorgeous and there's nobody on it. That would be a great place to go. We should research that. So why do your research? I mean, it's very easy to go into our suppliers and just pull things to clients, but when you do your research, you're going to maximize the value for your client. Research is going to help you find the best thing, bring the clients get a great value for their desired trip. So research doesn't have to be as detailed as what Becky and exotic destination. It can be as much as going in multiple suppliers and figuring out which one has the best price, which one has the best incentive things offered, credits, and things like that you can get for your clients, and also what's going to pay the best commission. Tailoring your trip to the client's preferences, customize trips to match your client's interests, personalized and satisfying experience. And we talked a lot about this in quoting last week. Finding out, what kind of rooms do they like? What kind of hobbies do they have? Then you can take it into your research to tailor that to your client. Ensuring client safety. Stay informed about travel advisories and local customs to keep your client safe and prepared. Optimize time, plan itineraries, and prioritize must-see attractions and avoid long waits. Is one of the things I'm doing with Italy is, they're like, well, we maybe like to see this, but we don't want to wait in line all day to see this. So maybe skip the lineup. That would be a research item. Surprises for your clients, anticipate like weather or transportation issues, ensuring smooth travel. The research part of knowing how late it may be. What is it going to be like weather-wise, and what kind of things might they want to bring along? Is the beach rocky? Will they need water shoes for that beach? All kind of stuff falls into research so that you're preparing your clients for their trip. Access to exclusive offers, find special deals or unique experiences to add value to your client's trip, and then enhance cultural understanding, provides into local cultures, enriching your client's travel experience. One of the things that came up when he and his friends went to the Tower of Pisa, Leaning Tower of Pisa, which was really cool. What a cool thing to do at 22 years old. And when they got there, his friend wasn't going to be allowed to go up in the tower because she was wearing a tank top. For Pisa, you have to have covered shoulders because it's a religious site. And so she now is a proud owner of a that she bought for 70 euros. So she didn't go into the tower. So making sure you understand some of the cultural norms of different places your clients are going is also going to be part of research. By researching thoroughly, a well-planned, enjoyable, and stress-free trip for your clients, enhancing your reputation as a trusted advisor. So using the information that you collected when you qualified your clients, and if you're new to us and you haven't seen that launch, you can find it in the event space of the Facebook group. You can go to the events and scroll down to the one on qualifying your clients and watch the recorded session from last week. Very soon, all of these videos are going to be posted in the new portal, so you can access them there as well. We have collected information from your client that qualified information. Engage in two different types of research. You're going to look at destination research, which is where it's going, what itinerary for the cruise is going to best fit their needs, or which theme park is going to be the most logical, or which European destination is going to work for them. Doing that destination research is going to find the best locations, tailor the trip, ensure the and optimize time, avoid unpleasant surprises, and discover unique experiences, which is going to make their trip smoother and more enjoyable. Supplier research is doing the research on all the suppliers in our supplier list, 120 plus of them, researching suppliers before you book so that you understand the best options for your clients. It allows you to find the most reliable and cost-effective choices, but also tailor recommendations to their preferences. If cost is not an issue, the thing that's going to match up with their wants and needs is going to be the best choice. We have lots of tour providers, lots of companies that can put together packages for you. Like Becky mentioned, Pleasant Holidays is one that can do that. Classic is another. By thoroughly vetting our suppliers, you guarantee an effortless and high quality experience for your clients that meets or exceeds their expectations, which in turn strengthens your reputation and fosters trust in your services. So it's not as easy. It's not as easy sometimes up a supplier and clicking through and sending up that quote. But a lot of the time, if you really want to make using a travel agent different for them than doing it themselves by booking online, doing that research, showing your expertise, sure that you're finding the best for your client is going to make all the difference and make them understand why working with a travel agent is the way to go. So we have lots of resources we can use when we are doing research. First of all, if you're going to be doing research for a certain type of trip, and maybe it's a different type of trip than you've done before, or they want to look at cruise lines or all-inclusive resorts that you've not really done before, sure you have the supplier logins you need so that you can move forward. And it's best not to request on Friday night because you might not get them till Monday. Occasionally we'll pop in on the weekend and do those, but if you want to have them in hand, request by Friday morning so that you have those before the weekend, so you can start doing research. I know a lot of agents like to work on the weekend, but for us, we don't love to work on the weekends for our gateway work. We do our client work on the weekends, but so you want to make sure you know which supplier you need. If you need recommendations, reach out to your staff. We give you recommendations for different suppliers you can use to meet a certain need. So those supplier websites and portals, those cruise line booking engines, resort websites, travel agent portals, tour provider sites, excursion provider sites, those are all going to be incredible resources for you, so you know what's up there, what is offered, and what you can provide for your client. Other resources include travel aid networks like Travel Leaders Network, which is our consortium. Tons of resources on there, destination training, and different, there's a million things on there. I haven't even fully surfaced of what's available on Travel Leaders Network. Our gateway tools, things that we have in-house for you to use, even as simple as searching our Facebook group or asking your staff. We are great resources for you to do some of your research. Destination-specific resources are things like tourism boards. So Visit Britain is one, Go Hawaii. I'm sure Becky's been on there recently for searching her Hawaii trip. Discover Dominican Republic. There's One Love Jamaica. There are many resources for destination specific outside of our supplier list, but you can find them just by searching those. Online travel agent communities. Agent Central is a good one. Travel Weekly, post agent reviews. Those portals end up with great content contributed by your agent booking similar to trips. There are forums, there are articles, great resources there. And then, of course, Facebook communities for suppliers and destinations. We book a lot of all-inclusive resorts as agents. That's a really big thing for people, especially where I live in the Midwest. People love to get away from the cold here and head south of the border and into the Caribbean. So on Vacation Express, it's one of my favorite suppliers. Vax is great too, but I just have come to really like Vacation Express. Their online community and their Facebook group is fantastic. Their staff is on that Facebook and responsive, so you can go in and say, you know, I'm looking for recommendations for this time in this area, and tons of agents will give you feedback. If you have an issue with a booking, you can put the booking number right on that Facebook group. Staff will hop in and respond to. So that's a great resource too. And there are communities all over for all of our different suppliers. We had an agent this week asking about where to find promotional rates provided by Travel Leaders Network. Well, the Midwest BDM for Travel Leaders has a page on Facebook, and she just posted everything that's on a promo for the 4 pages. So having resources like that at your fingertips is really helpful. And also following the official communities for some of these suppliers like Disney and cruise lines and stuff like that. So you always know what's going on with those cruise lines. Review and research sites, Advisor, Google Reviews, Travel Pulse, Travel Kit Report, all of those are going to be really great reasons to find out what's going on. The first 2, TripAdvisor and Google Reviews, are for consumer reviews. So if you want to know what are people's particular resort, what's it been like, always look at most recent reviews, because old reviews, maybe they fixed that problem, or maybe the thing that was going on 2 years ago is not there. So recent reviews, I usually say 6 months, no further back than 6 months. Those are really a snap what people are really experiencing on that property. Reviews. Travel Pulse, Travel Market Report are more industry news and insights. So they might talk of new doors that are opening, or new cruise ships that are coming, acquisitions where certain resorts are bought out or rebid by other companies, things like that, to help you to stay a little bit ahead of what's going on. Social media and online forums, again, Facebook groups for travel agents, Instagram for visual inspiration and discovering trending destinations and properties, and of course, favorite fam trips and site inspections. Fam trips are familiarization. My daughter, who is just turned 30, she was like, all this time you've been a travel agent, Mom, and I always thought it was family trips, like my travel agent family going on a trip. I'm like, that is not, it is kind of like that, but it is not that. It is familiarization. It's meant for parks in a way that you're trying to view it through your client's side, having just personal vacation. So fam trips are a great way to expand your knowledge of properties and different types, store companies, etc. Also great ways to connect with other agents and learn from other agents. Becky and I met on a fam trip. Best thing ever. I have a great picture of us from that trip. Site inspections as well. If you're cruising and you're getting off in a certain point, you might be able to arrange some site inspections for resorts that are at that destination. So you could go and see, and really firsthand knowledge goes so far to know if that's a great vibe for your client. I just had a request for sandals. Same client I've been working on since November. Becky, now we're back to sandals. This is like a labor of love on my part. I don't even know what I'm going to get in commission when I add up to the hours I put in. Whatever. So now he's back on sandals, and he gave me a list. He's dropped down to like the more budget-friendly versions. And I know from my personal experience, there's one on his list that I won't recommend because I've been there, and it's a tired property, and it's not going to give him the experience he wants. I can do better, similar price somewhere else, but I only know that because I was exactly. So that's a great thing. And also reviews from your clients who've been to certain properties really helps too. Can you go on trips that have to be Gateway fam trips? Yes. So Brandon, we have access to our personal trip through Gateway once a year for all agents who qualify, only qualify by being active and in good standing for our fam trip. That's our Celebrity Beyond trip in November. Still open if anybody wants to add to that. There are companies on Facebook. I don't know if they have a website. I think they just on Facebook. Caribbean fam trips. Fam trips is all one word. Or Mexico fam trips, and I think they've licensed European or Europe fam trips, but they haven't launched them yet.
Started it yet.
They do great fam opportunities for agents. I mean, there's always a cost, but it's a minimal cost to go. Sometimes they have like 3 or 4 properties in 5 days. Like you'll stay at one, but then they'll do day trips out to the others where you can explore and see. Very cost-effective way to do it. Sometimes they do it where you bring guests. They did a family one last year where you could families, which was kind of cool. And they did family-friendly Mexican resort properties. It's kind of cool. We've had some agents from Gateway on them, and they're supposedly very, very good. If there are fam trips offered from suppliers like companies or cruise lines or whatever that are outside of Gateway, sometimes if you qualify, you might have to have your own CLIA or IATA card to qualify. You may have had to book product already so that you could go on that trip. Sometimes you have to apply. So it really depends on who's putting on that fam trip and what they want out of it. So that's really the short answer. If there's something specific you're looking for, I would definitely get on those supplier websites and look in their marketing and training and see if they had anything. Vax often has fam trips. Express has fam trips. They fill up very fast.
Vacation Express UI, you do have to have bookings and you do have to apply. And they run out so quickly. Some of the cruise lines do seminars at sea. Again, you do have to apply. You do have to qualify for those, and they fill up very quickly. So if it's something you're looking for, you may have the upper hand on it and be aware of it. Yeah, definitely always subscribe to your suppliers' emails, things like that, because you never know. So they pop up to where, oh, that's last minute, but I have nothing going on in 3 weeks. Let's do it.
Right. So, and we do have, through the way, we have different opportunities, different qualifications for those. It might be just certain, like our top agents might do something, or maybe these growing agents that certain standards might go do something. Somebody who's booking a lot of different products might qualify for something. So there are opportunities that do come up through us, but they're usually more
they have supply
even rather than they have supplier requirements. So FAMs are out there. It's just not quite as easy to find them as it used to be like in the 90s when agents were setting all over. None of that now, but there are options.
Yes, and you Universal has been sending a lot out because Epic is coming. So they have a lot of training. In fact, I think they even have a training today about, because I got a notice or something. Thursday's crazy for me, so I may just pop it. But yeah, Universal has a training and the Nation training, because I went to a Universal training in Dallas that was really, really good. So yeah, different.
I missed the Disney shows. Those were great. Disney used to do like a travel around the country and then to major cities. I went to one in Detroit, and it was fantastic. It was free. It included lunch. I sat right next to our BDM who met on that trip, and he was so nice, and I can't remember his name. Yeah, travel leaders. And you can do also a great way to get into is to go to travel events. There are things you can do, like in Michigan, where I live, last fall, there was a Michigan Travel Supplies Conference. And it was just like a cocktail hour kind of thing. It went on for about, I think it was from like, and all of the different suppliers had booths up. You could meet BDMs, you could get collateral, you could talk, ask questions, things like that. It really wasn't a kind of presentation involved, but it was a great thing to meet people. I met our BDM for CIE, who was fantastic. I met our BDM for Europe Express, also great, and he and I are now Facebook friends. You could be Facebook friends with him too. He's great. Anyway, yeah, there's lots of ways to gain knowledge, and to be honest, you're going to be, the more armed you are with training and knowledge, the easier it is to do the research, because you already kind of know what. Okay. There it is. So we're going to start with cruises. The study researching and quoting cruises. First of all, other details on the destination, cruise line, cabin type, travel dates, budget, and special requests for your client. Does that qualify piece that we talked about last week? Armed with all that information, you can start to use your tools to find cruises that fit the client's criteria, including any promotions or deals that might be going on at that time. We have great suppliers for cruises. I think we have almost every single 90% of the cruise lines out there on our supplier list. In addition, we also have Cruise Complete, which is available through Travel Leaders Network, Agent Universe. We have Agent Profile Complete and published. You can act Cruise Complete, and that's kind of one-stop shopping for cruises in a way that going on the individual sites isn't. So for Caribbean, you might see 4 or 5 cruises that follow the window your client's looking at on different ships. If you go on Cruise Complete, you're going to see Royal Caribbean and Norwegian and Princess and all the cruises that fall in that travel window for your client.
It is a great research tool. Great research tool, because a lot of times, my clients will come to me and say, Becky, I want to go spring break and I want to do this. And okay, I'm going to just say, a couple months ago, a client called me, spring break, we want to go. And I'm like, oh my gosh, spring break has almost been booked up for now. So I went on Cruise Complete, saw what was available. Princess luckily still has some out of a ship going out of Galveston, but it's great because in the dates and the qualifying factors, like they want to go out of Galveston, and it just pops in. So I
You can
love
select
that.
itineraries, like you can
Oh,
say, I just want to look at Eastern Caribbean, or I just want to look at Western Caribbean, or I just want to look at Mediterranean. I just want to go out of this port. You can filter it, but still see all the different ones that have options that fall in that window. So that's a great tool.
it is.
Either way, go ahead.
Great to use. I was gonna say real quick. You can also even put that they want to go to Grand Cayman. The Caribbean tour goes to Grand Cayman, so you could even pick that port. So just I love the factoring tools.
Yes, and other cruise lines don't do that quite as much, but they're also not dealing with as many cruise options as Cruise Complete. They're kind of like the one-stop shopping. So once you've narrowed down options, you can compare itineraries, evaluate the routes, the lengths, the ports, the prices across the different cruise lines, and the stateroom types. I usually ask them before we start. They want to be to an interior room. I would never stay in one because it would make me crazy not to have daylight. But I have clients who really don't care. They're like, we want to spend money on other things and we don't care where we sleep, so they want to see interior. So you can compare all the different stateroom types that are available, evaluate the different port options. Is it going to have 2 sea days or 3 sea days? Go to a private island for that cruise line? Is it going to go to places they maybe do want to go or don't want to go? And you compare that across different cruise itineraries.
I would be
Cruise
really.
I don't know Cruise Plum.
It's basically a gathering of deals, and that can let you know things like sailing. I would be cautious in there because do not book in there because you will not earn commission. The deal is with Cruise Complete, you can book through it. And you can also, my other favorite part is you can attach travel leaders groups. It's the easiest way to see there's a travel leaders group that you can attach a client to. That could be onboard credit or less. But Cruise Plum, if that's the way you like to search for them, just do that if that's okay with you. But
just remember, you only book with suppliers on our supplier list. Because you find it elsewhere does not mean you can book that way. You're not buying cruises at Costco for your clients. No. Then consider add-ons. Suggest extras like short excursions, travel insurance, drink or dining packages, and cabin upgrades. Sometimes I actually was looking at one that said they wanted a balcony on Princess, and for some reason on that sailing, I think the inventory of balconies had gotten so low that the mini, which is way more square footage, was cheaper than the balcony room. So it was like, this makes more sense. Let's go with the mini suite, more space, have a bigger bathroom, which for me helps all my stuff, and have a bigger couch. On Princess, in a mini room, you have a little love seat, and on you have a full-size sofa, which is really nice. I've napped there. It's been great looking out at the water. Anyway, for add-ons, with some cruise lines, things like shore excursions and drink and dining package are actually commissionable. It's the packages that come from Princess are commissionable. The ones from the drinks and extras, like shore excursions on Virgins, are commissionable. On Carnival Royal Caribbean, they're not, but you still might want to offer their clients as ways to enhance their experience. That's part of that research process. You know, into snorkeling, then suggest a snorkeling itinerary, and maybe it's booked through Viator, and you do earn a little commission on it. So make sure you've done that research and consider those add-ons. Travel insurance, for sure, it is commissionable with our suppliers. It's even bigger commissionable from our travel insured internet on our supplier list.
Yep.
Did a whole bunch of just travel insurance for some clients at Airbnb. They spent a ton of money, and there's 15 of them going. And I remember a conversation from last year about travel insurance, and I really feel like we need it. I just 14 people worth of medical only travel. My commission's like a couple $100, which is great.
Which is awesome because even though you lost the Airbnb, you still got that with the insurance.
Exactly.
This is so much more than just that little window of missing your trip.
Exactly. So then once you have all the information, you can prepare the quote. You can create a clear and detailed quote with pricing, inclusions, fees, payment options, optional extras, and cancellation. Give them the full picture so they understand if it's a non-refundable rate or a refundable rate, things like that. Make sure that you have all those details. And within 1 to 3 days of having that inquiry sent to you, address the client questions after a follow-up. Within 1 to 3 days of sending it to them, and then prepared to make changes if necessary. Animal waterways seems many areas are commissionable. The river cruises in general, a lot of that stuff is commissionable. Sorry. There's no inside voice with that dog. Wanda, Uninsured International, you can quote medical only by making the value of the $0. So instead of putting in the trip at however many, $1,000 you think of people, and then you put $0 for the trip value, it also covers lost luggage. So it's medical and lost luggage, and it does like repatriation of remains, which, morbid, terrible. We don't want to think about it. But my son worked on a cruise ship, and he said there was, a couple times a month they used the morgue.
We lost one of our agents
on a cruise ship.
One of our agents on a cruise.
My dad passed away in Hawaii on vacation. And I mean, can you imagine the cost of bringing remains back to Hawaii? So repatriation of remains is in there, medical, dental, it's travel insured international, yes. And you just, when you're filling out, instead of putting in the cost of the trip, you put in $0 and it gives you that cost of like a medical only policy. You can see all the inclusions on there. It's be great. So then you're going to follow 3 days after presenting it and be prepared to make adjustments, changes if the client needs it. What that quote is going to look like, there's a couple of ways you can do it. And the first way is to present the quote directly from the supplier. A lot of our suppliers, especially the cruise lines, have a way to send a link that is or a PDF of quote right from them. And the great thing about it is it does save time because it's pre-formatted, provides clear, detailed information from the supplier, and it's easy for exact pricing and inclusions. This, I think, might be a Royal Caribbean.
It looks like it.
Yeah.
Or Celebrity, yeah.
Or yeah. The thing that is the downside is it does lack personalization branding, so it doesn't have your name on it, or it might have something about you at a little line, but it doesn't really show anything. It may look generic and less tailored to the client, and there's less opportunity to emphasize your unique value as an agent. If you want to go quickly, sometimes, especially for established clients, I will go this route if I turn otherwise, a custom branded quote where you have a format that you bring all that information from that supplier into your personalized quote. They're professional and personalized. They reinforce your brand. They allow for tailored recommendations and special touches. They highlight your expertise and value to the client. It makes you look very professional. And if you're pulling components from different places, like you're doing a cruise, but you're also wanting to quote flight ranges if they're going to book their own flight, but to give them an estimate of what that cost might be, or excursions that are out of the supplier, or a hotel the night before that's not going to be booked through the cruise line, you can include extra things in quote like that. The downside is it's more time consuming to create. I definitely do that to myself. I love my quotes, but it does take forever. Requires careful attention to detail to avoid errors, and they require extra effort to ensure that all supplier details are accurate. So that is a downside. I have to carry things over.
Yeah. It's not the downside, but yeah.
They're prettier, and I like pretty. So the other way, there we go, is you could partner with a supplier like Try or Travel Joy or Turn. These are a monthly subscription service that is like a very, very fancy RM type thing where you can host your client information, create interactive itineraries, things that you can send to your client. Each one is slightly different than the other. They all have a monthly cost involved. Trafify creates visually stunning interactive itineraries with images and maps. They have a huge library. So if you put in that you're going to be at Sandals Dunn's River, it's going to pull from Sandals Dunn's River for you, which is pretty cool. Easy to use drag and interface for customization, mobile friendly app that enhances engagement. Built-in payment processing, yet I think they're going to be adding it soon, but it's not there now. So you do have to do separate invoicing, limited CRM functions compared to Travel Joy or Travel Turn, and a higher learning curve to really customize it. Pros and cons for that one. Travel Joy, the pro is it's a stream proposal with built-in invoicing and payment collection, strong CRM features for client tracking and community. Email automation for follow-ups and reminders, which can be directed. You can preset some follow-up emails and think that so that you don't even have to think about it. They just go.
Yep.
The cons are it's less visually polished than Travefy for itineraries. Do not have an interactive app for the functions to itineraries, and they're more focused on back-end operating design. So it's not quite as pretty as Travefy, but it may have more functionality for you if that's what you're looking for. Turn, my friend who uses Turn, it said that it's like Travefy and TravelJoy. It's a little more expensive than the two, but it kind of has the best of both worlds. It combines CRM, itinerary creation, and commission tracking in one system. It has easy invoicing and financial tracking, some quotes, strong reporting tools to track sales and client trends. It is newer, so there's fewer integrations as far as like pulling in data from and things like that. It may not have as many pre-designed templates for itineraries, and it can feel a little more complex if you're looking for simple quotes. But this is definitely a way to go. If you're not graphics skilled to create your own platform or to work in Canva or with templates from Etsy, you really don't like the ones that comes from the suppliers, this might be a good middle ground and a really good way to kind of stay organized.
I had never used one of these until this year. And it just was on my plate. And the theme of this year is organization. And I absolutely love the fact that it reminds me. It tells me when my clients view my quote. The clients can accept the quote. And I just added a function to where I can attach the credit card authorization form with the quote. So that if they go ahead and approve it, I can have that one step right there. And it sends it to my email, my phone. Everything's ready for you. Blah, blah, blah. So I go in and make the payment starts. So I think Travefy does a little bit like that. But
similar, yeah. They're just, and I think they're all like each other and going, yeah. Ooh, I like that feature. I'm going to pull that. And then the other one goes, but you have this and I'm going to do that.
Yep.
So I think at the end of the day, they're all going to kind of have the same functionality. It's just going to be personal preference. All of them have a free trial. So you could use days of free checking it out for you. And I know with Travefy, which is the one I ended up, I did 2 free one-on-one like Zoom calls, interactive, where I got to like see stuff and ask questions and stuff like that, which was a really nice feature. So, and they have great support, all of them. So check those out if you're interested in something else. It is an extra cost per month, and you may have to wait till it makes sense for your business, but then for creating quotes. And the good thing is it holds them, it saves them, and you can go back and adjust them and view them, and it's a really nice feature. I know that for Travefy, I had 2 options. I could download a PDF to email to the client, or I could send them a digital version.
TravelJoy, same way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Steps to researching and quoting all-inclusives. Very similar type of format. You're going to understand your client preferences. You're going to understand the client's experience. They want family-friendly or adults only. What is their style? What is their vibe? Do they want something that feels very sleek and modern? Do they want something that feels very beachy and like palm fronds, umbrellas by the beach? Do they want it to be active and lively? Do they want something romantic? You really find that we talked about in order to find out, and then you can start looking. Get their preferred activities and travel dates as well. Research destinations. Analyze the client's preferred destinations based on climate, safety, local attractions, and accessibility. Season for travel and the overall appeal of the area. Cancun versus Punta Cana versus the Maldives. And also look at how hard is it to get there. Because I have a client, the sandals guy that I'm looking at, the preferred airport doesn't go anywhere. It's really been a challenge to get to. We were looking at Aruba. It was going to be 3 flights.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I don't want to travel that way. That is exhausting.
Yeah.
So we're looking at options that'll get them there in 2 flights, because 3 is a lot. That's a hard travel day. And then select some suitable resorts based on the destination and the client preference. Research top resorts that match needs. Focus on their amenities. Focus on room types. If they want something that has an ocean view versus ocean front, understand the differences. Ocean view means if you lean out your balcony, you might see a sliver of ocean. Ocean front means it's facing the ocean. Different. Ocean view does not mean it's beach front. Make sure you understand bed types. A lot of Mexican resorts, they don't go any, they do king or they do full double, not a queen. And for some couples that I've booked, I say husband and wife might not be in a full-size bed for a week. They want to be in a king or a queen. If they're traveling with kids, it's going to make a difference in how you book that. And then special features, like if it's, how is there? Do they have spa services? Do they have great kids programs? I had a request for this spring break. I have clients going to special request was it had to have a bar. That eliminated a handful of resorts from the possibilities because it had to have a swim up bar. That's a big thing for them. So I had one of the swim up bar.
Okay, so I love the idea of the swim up bars and that kind of stuff. And then my husband leaned in and said, Becky, do you notice they're sitting there but they don't get up to go to the bathroom? And I'm like, oh,
maybe the swim up bar, not an idea.
no.
Lots of chlorine. Lots of chlorine in that water.
I just never thought that. So now when I hear swim up bar, I'm like,
funny.
Yeah, poor Dave.
Okay, so why is it not? There we go. Then you're going to compare pricinges. You're going to evaluate the pricing of different resorts, package inclusions like meals, drinks, entertainment, and activities, inclusive versus something that's just a resort that might have a breakfast plan only, or different options for this. Look for special promotions, upgrades, and loyalty program benefits. A lot of clients who are actually owned by hotel chains like Marriott, like Hyatt, like Hilton. So if they have loyalty programs with those companies, they can apply those benefits or get the points from those trips at the properties. The way that works is if you don't book it directly through Marriott or Hilton or Hyatt, when they get to the resort, they can say, "Hey, I'm a Marriott member," and then they'll take their card and apply that trip to that. So even if we can't book it that way, we can book it that way if we choose not to. They can still get their points. Then check reviews and ratings. Research recent reviews and feedback from others to gauge the quality of service, cleanliness, food, and overall guest experience. So think about when you're looking at pricing and packages, a lot of different resort brands have an upgraded experience, like a diamond club or a platinum experience or a preferred club. It might cost more, but it might have sometimes the benefits are a little, like a better check-in process or maybe a concierge desk. Sometimes the benefits are not. Diamond Club at Royalton, which is where my swim up bar people gives them butler service,
which is
and a whole separate area to dine and pool and beach that's exclusive to them. So sometimes those entities are worth it, and make sure that you know the differences and that you understand those and communicate those to your clients. That are add-ons. Identify optional add-ons such as airport transfers, excursions, spa treatments, special dining experiences that can enhance their client's stay and make the trip personalized. Most of our supply we book through Vax and Vacation are going to automatically include transfer. If you book direct with like Hyatt, for example, for those, they used to be AMR resorts and now they're all in the Hyatt inclusive experience. Those don't include for you would have to add that separately. So they can upgrade to private transfers if they prefer.
That's a big one. Well, and sometimes have a family of 4. The private transfer was less expensive than the bus transfer. I'm like,
and 4 people on the bus. Yep. Because it might be $85 a person on the bus, or it might be $300 for private. Well, do the math. That's cheaper if they get a private transfer. Mm-hmm. Have those things in your mind as you're looking forward to quoting those. They have to be in the quote, but they can be notes at the bottom. If you wanted this experience, plus this much. If you wanted this experience, it's plus this much. I always include insurance and then say off, because it's better to have it in there and remove it than to pay more.
Yep. And it's always good. I always do the assumptive unless travel insurance is already included in it. And if they say, well, I have my own travel insurance, then I take it off. But
a lot of times if clients pay with Amex, might have it included. They might have it on a different type of credit card already factored in, so you don't have to worry about it, but it is good to offer it because not having it is bad.
Yes.
the quote, unlike cruises, pricing for all-inclusives can vary a lot more supplier to supplier. So it's a good idea to price from more than one supplier at the commission to make sure you're doing the best for your client and for you. Whether your quote is sent directly from the supplier, reformatted into your own template, or sent using a travel tool like Travefy, Traveljoy, or Turn, make sure your proposal meets or exceeds expectations. Give the client choices. 3 plus or minus is a great number. The one that I just did, the spring break, different spring break, they're going to Punta Cana. I did 2 in Punta Cana and 2 in Cancun. They weren't sure what they wanted, so I gave them choices for both places, but I would not have done 3 and 3 because that's just 6 quotes is a lot, 4 many. Be clear about what's included and what's not included, so they really understand. Sometimes the resorts that you're sending your clients to will have resort fees that need collected on property. You need to highlight that if that's a thing. Mexico is one of those places where there's a tax, like an e-tax that's collected that isn't in the booking itself. It's collected either at the airport or at the resort. You can send a quote from Vax or from Vacation Express or from other suppliers. This one on the left here is the one from Vax, and to me, it's just a little. I don't know the way it looks. It's not pretty. There's no pictures.
I don't like it. Well, okay, I like all of its inclusions, but yeah, it's just not, to me, inspiring.
The one on the right is the format that I use.
Yeah.
And it gives them lots of information. And this one happens to be a singles one. And you can see that on the middle page there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 different room types. Yeah. Because Sandals has 100 room types per resort. So I gave them a couple in each category, but it was only one resort. So that was Sandals Royal.
And sometimes you will get to a point where if it's a fast turnaround, I had I shouldn't call him a kid because he's 22, but he called me and he's like, Becky, I forgot to put the honeymoon. I'm like, oh, when are we married? He's like, Saturday. I'm like, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. So they had and did the back quote because it was, we pressed for time. So there are times where you.
Yes. It's just a thing. Quoting theme parks. Again, understanding your client preferences, determining the client's preferred dates, their group size, how many people are going, budget, their park interest. Is it Disney or Universal or other parks like SeaWorld or Legoland? And then do they have special needs? Do they need family-friendly experiences? Do they need dietary experiences? What type of resort do they want to stay in? Do they need transportation? That all the things, part of that qualifying. Research the ticket options. Available park tickets for single day, multi-day, park hopper, and then pricing for the specific travel. Consider any seasonal promotions or seasonal events. So when you're looking in the fall at Disney or Universal, you might want to consider Halloween Horror Nights if they have teenagers, or Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party if it's more family friendly. Although I prefer Mickey's, but I'm not a horror girl. But then they have different ticket options, and they have add-ons. For Universal, they have the Express Pass. They have the option of getting it included if they stay at a more high-end resort, like a premium resort, or paying for it separately if they choose to stay at a lower cost resort, or if they just go separate, like if they stay at Disney but maybe a couple days. So understand all those ticket types is a big deal. Make sure you've done the training because that is a huge part of quoting theme parks. And then research on-site or nearby, including Disney or Universal resorts, and pair room types, packages, benefits like early admission, transportation services, and consider packages. With Disney and Universal, the bring on property is that free transportation. Yeah. It's a bus, it's a monorail, it's a Skyliner, it's a boat. It's going to get you from your hotel to that theme park and have that fully immersive experience where you're not feeling like you're having to park car, remember where you parked, things like that. You can stay off property and have a perfectly wonderful experience. Sometimes I find that the value priced resorts at Disney are less expensive than regular hotels off property. Because you're paying for parking and you're paying for, extra things.
It's the nickel and dime, and then the extra benefits of being at certain resorts. Like I mentioned, the Express Pass included. That's why Universal to me is the easiest upsell ever. And are the deluxe hours worth it? You have a lot, and that's where that's training is really important.
Exactly. So also want to look at dining and add-ons. Disney and Universal both have dining pages added. I believe those are commissionable on both parks.
I think so. I'm not for
at
sure.
A lower percentage. They're not at a big percentage.
No, yeah.
But it also your clients to have those dining packages if they
know the rules.
Want them and know the rules.
Disney's a lot more inclusive with their dining on everywhere. Like Disney Springs even has dining on a dining plan. Universal is, I think it was, if we bought the dining plan, it was only good at the park, not at the resort.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
I'd always be aware. Yep.
So you can also look at character dining experiences. We had someone ask on the experience agent group, she'd never booked Disney before, so she's asking about the Cinderella Castle. One is going to book that 60 days out. So know the rules for booking. So for Disney, you can book dining 60, but you can book for the day. So if they're staying for a week, you can book 65 days out as long as your client is 60 days from that first check-in day. I never recommend doing those hard to get play day one because you're just not going to get them. And
I would do those further places like Ohana, like Cinderella's Royal Table, Topolino's,
Mm-hmm.
You're going to want to do those on like the further days from the trip because you'll have an easier shot to do it. So just to let you know of that. Cynthia, I agree. Those extra hours are a game changer. I'm just saying, if their particular ride, if you don't want to invest in the lightning lanes and drop something, being in the resort is definitely an extra benefit.
I love the late night ones because usually they're only like 30 minutes. When you get those extra hours at the end that are like 2 hours extra, 3 hours extra, man, amazing.
I often pay for the after hours. I enjoy it.
Photo pack are a big deal. Look at those as add-ons. Sometimes tours, backstage VIP, all kinds of really wonderful options that can make your clients experience better. And remember, your bank account, your booking, your client's bank account. What might feel extravagant for you might be perfectly reasonable for them. I had some clients contact me, and I only knew this guy from high school because we went to high school. We really weren't friends. Not that we weren't friends, we weren't enemies. We just didn't hang. He was a hockey player. I was a theater kid. We didn't. Our class reunion contacted me for a trip. They ended up staying a club level or concierge level room at one of the top tier resorts. Got the Max Pass. They had multi-day ticket. They had a VIP tour. They did the add-on Harry Potter. Like they did a photo package. It was like $7,000. I never would have thought that was going to be what that booking would turn into. It was a big deal. Thrilled, absolutely thrilled. But I would not have thought that was where it was going to go. So you have to remember that you're not booking for you, booking for their budget, and they will be the ones to tell you if it's too high. Compare pricing and promotions. Evaluate the pricing on tickets, accommodations, and add-ons. Checking for special promotions, discounts, or bundle packages. In Disney, when you're booking, you can go across the top at different promos that you can link on to see if the price is different. Sometimes it's having Disney Plus might give your client a little bit of an advantage. Being a Disney credit card holder, Chase Disney credit card holder can give you a so make sure you're checking on those. And of course, present the quote. Dining and any extras. Offering various options to meet the client's budget and preferences. And so when that quote comes, we book Universal through VAX. So this first one on the left, that is what a Universal quote looks like coming from VAX. It's very much like that all-inclusive one I did a minute ago. It doesn't that logo right at the top, it really does not say Universal to me. But it does give all the information, and all this stuff in the red is super. If that ever pops up on a booking for you, make sure you read it.
Yeah.
Because that is going to give you information. It might be that this particular resort is going through some construction. It might be in your client's states. So make sure that you're reading all the parking rules on site. That information, it's really important. Disney allows you to present up to 3 options in their quote process, and it's a great way to give your clients choices if they've never been before and they don't know what level of resort they want. You do a value, moderate, and a deluxe, and put 3 on the quote. With and without dining, with and without insurance, with and without maker, all of that can be factored in and can be presented. Then, but that only comes like a PDF format. You can't, it's not interactive, but you can send an e-brochure and install the things and send that separately to your client. It doesn't have pricing on it though. These options are on the right side are templates that were downloaded from or are downloadable from Etsy that you can then modify in Canva. These are very comprehensive for Universal and Disney clients, and they give lots of information about parks and riding and requirements, and you can edit really different vacations.
Yeah.
There's so much bigger than just all inclusive, and they do require a lot more hoop jumping. Disney book direct through the supplier is also in Vax. You may see it in Vax. Do not book it in Vax. Disney is booked direct from Disney travel agents. Our status, our what do we call it?
Is all
depends on our volume booked through Disney travel agents. So anytime we book through another supplier like Vax, it marks against us. So I'm gonna do that. Please make sure you're booking through DisneyTravelAgents.com. Disney and Universal in the last couple of years, partially, and I think it's the same reason that we don't book flight only. It's liability. I'm booking flights, airline missions, so then you're sitting with a full liability. So when you have clients who want air for a Disney or Universal trip, good flights for you, go ahead and book these, but you will not be able to book those for them. The package with these 2 products.
I had to find my clients' flights and I send them.
Same. That's what I do. So much better for the client to be in control of their own. So the next way we book travel is tours or fit travel. That's when fit is fully independent travel, and that is all the components together: the hotels, the tours, the transportation, into a customized. Understanding your clients' preferences and needs, clients' travel preferences, including their budget, their destinations, preferred activities, accommodation style, special requests such as dietary restrictions, flexibility needs. That again, back to the qualifying your client, getting all the information. These type of trips do require a lot more from your client to put into vacation. Research your destinations. Look into the chosen destinations to understand the key attractions, the local experiences, the weather conditions, the travel season, the safety considerations. Use trusted destination guides and tour provider resources and knowledge. Europe is one for trips like this. A lot of people that customized trip to Europe and all the things. And the great thing about Europe is it's not that big, so you can get a lot packed into a very small time frame, like 2 weeks. Also, my clients that I'm doing Italy for right now, they're pretty focusing on the northern and they're going to do 2 weeks in the northern part of Italy and still not see everything on the list they gave me. So, to Scotland when I was a teenager, we were there for 2 weeks, and I could go back and see and still not have taken. Europe is amazing to travel to. Identify tour providers or fit options. Reputable tour providers, or customize a fit package by combining flights, accommodations, excursions, transportation options. Ensure the options meet the client's expectations and are available within requested travel dates. This is somewhere where you can lean on us. We have dozens of tour providers that work in the fit space and also the preset tour space for tour options in certain destinations. Reach us because we can point you in the right direction, save you the headache of going every single supplier on the list trying to find more. We have wonderful suppliers that do really wonderful, and we can do a lot of different variety in that tour and fit travel space. Availability and pricing. Verify availability for options, also tour space. Some itineraries may have limited capacity. Availability of tickets for popular attractions, likely to book up or sell out. I learned that the hard way. I had some clients who I have last year for a September trip to London, and day trips to some places, and then a couple days in the Lake District. I think Pride and Prejudice kind of. Anyway, they wanted to go to Highclere Castle, which is where he was filmed. It's like fantastic. So I'm on the phone with our fit supplier, and I'm getting with her, and I'm like, and they want to do Downton Abbey, and she said, okay. And this is for September 2025, right? And I was like, no, 2024. Like, we want to go in like 2.5 months. She goes, oh, and then she started laughing, and she said, Highclere Castle books a year ahead. And so I go back to my clients and say, well, we can do a little village where they film Downton Abbey, but we can't do Highclere Castle because we need to book that a year ago. So understanding things like that may be done up. Coming up in Italy this summer is the Diamond Jubilee of,
I think so.
Church, I think, or something. It's a huge thing. They're expecting a lot of people to be coming to Italy in that time frame. So knowing that too, making sure we are our hotels booked so that we don't lose out is going to be a challenge too. Yeah. Prepare a detailed itinerary. Create well-structured itinerary that outlines each day's activities, occasions, and other inclusions, such as meals or special tours. Include alternative options where necessary, and provide flexibility for the client to customize. Sometimes even in they may have a flex day where there's like an either or option. So your clients could be doing a preset tour, and then they get to a certain city, and it's like, you can do or this tour. And so that customization helps your clients feel like they're in control of it too. Provide it with a complete itemized quote. Consider entering optional extras such as travel insurance, excursions, airport transfer. Present the quote using professional or send it directly from supplier. Transparency. I will say that quotes that come from tour providers, especially fit tour providers like Scepter, Kensington, are beautiful. They do not need to be dropped into my own format. They're stunning just as they are. So in those cases, I them come directly from the supplier. Tour providers will create these itineraries, usually day-by-day plans, a breakdown of all the activities and experiences for each day of the tour, accommodation information on the hotels or lodgings where they're going to stay, which meals are included and which meals are not, whether it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or if they're on their fat. Transportation, details about transfers, flights, other transportation during the trip, like buses and things like that to get them from A. Tour inclusions, specifics on what's entrance fees, guided tours, special experiences, and then also expectation of a gratuity or something for the guide at the end of the trip. Like that, know that that's something they'll have at the end of the trip. Having a box for that tour guide who's been taking care of them for the week. Free time. Make sure you note if there's any free time for personal exploration or relaxation or shopping or whatever your client is into. And then guide and assistance, information on local guides and tour directors or their 24/7 support. Detailed itineraries are often pre-designated and ready to be shared with clients, and they're usually quite lovely. I love tour companies because really once you hand off your client, company, it's maybe now. So they won't be calling you as they have right there taking care of them. For fit travel, agents can customize, create those detailed itineraries based on traveler's preference, use itinerary planning software, itinerary forms. You guide through all the pieces so you don't miss anything. If you're going to do it on your own, you absolutely can do it on. But for certain places, if we have a supplier that does it for you, work smarter, not harder. Yes. Let those experts be the experts. I'm working on this Italy, and I've got all the information. And I, in theory, could put it together myself, but I'm just handing it over to a couple of suppliers to give me a couple of pricing options. I can give those to my client, and then I can work on other things. So it's a great way to go. Then once you've presented that quote and you have all the things they want in that quote, we're going to talk briefly about asking for the sale. Most of us are not natural salespeople. Most of us are not comfortable with the idea of selling. Even though that's what we do. So if you frame it in your head as the idea of these people have a fabulous experience, and not selling, it's going to help you. So there's different ways that you can approach that final conversation. The direct approach is asking for the sale in a way like, does everything in the package look good to you? If so, we can finalize the booking in these rates. It's very upfront, very straight. You're ready to secure this trip. I'll take care of all the details for you. You're asking them, are you ready? And they say yes or no. Confirmation is the idea of saying, this itinerary checks all the boxes you mentioned. Does it feel like the perfect fit for your trip? And you're nodding and yes. So that they say, yeah, this really is everything we wanted. Sounds like the question is exactly what you're looking for. Shall we go ahead and make sure that they understand this is what they want and you're confirming it? Creating urgency is something like this. Price and availability is time sensitive, which is to make sure you don't miss out. You need to get your first choice. Let's secure it while it's available. On sandals, they often tell you how many of those room types are left. Yeah, and often it's 2. There's only 2 of this room type available. So if this is what you want, we probably need to get that deposit today.
Or airlines.
Or airline prices for sure too, because you get a window and you can see it sliding up as you're closer to the travel dates. Offer an incentive. If we book now, we advantage of this exclusive upgrade. Shall we go ahead and get that booked? We had a actually we're currently sitting with sandals that ends at the end of the month. So we're about 2 weeks out from that going away. If you're at the end of March and you're trying to book sandals, we're trying to get in on this Jamaica sale, free catamaran sale, extra night free or whatever that deal is. Let's get that booked now. That's that urgency. Actually, it's both. Booking today ensures you'll get this special perk or benefit. Let's move forward so you can take advantage of it. Promos are changing all the time. It's like shopping at Kohl's. You're never seeing the same price twice. Using that as a booking option is a good one. The trial close like, would you like me to reserve this for you with a deposit today? That way your trip is secured. Often if the deposit is fully refundable, people will be willing to put it with a deposit and then maybe change time later or change components of it later. But that's a good way to like a partial fully booking it. Shall I book this now and send you the confirmation? Sometimes there are things where you can do a 3-day hold. Disney, it's a 20, is it 24 or 48 with Disney?
It's a 48, but it also depends on when that vacation will too. Because
right,
if it's
it has to be
yeah, then they will not do the whole. Typically, it's 48 with Disney, I believe, unless they've changed it here recently. I haven't done one in like a couple months. I believe it's 48.
I think Princess is either 48 or 72.
I always tell my
you can book for free.
24.
Yeah. Oh, you tell them it's 24.
I always tell them it's 24.
Let me put a 24-hour hold on this for you, and we can talk again tomorrow.
Yes,
Emphasize simplicity. Once all the hard work is done, are you ready to let me take care of everything for you? I can handle the rest for you. Let's look now so you can relax and look forward to your trip. That's the selling of you being the expert and the person who's handling all the details. And then the relationship play. I'm excited to bring your dream vacation to life. Are you ready to take the next? This trip is going to be amazing. Let's make it official and secure your plans today. It's just that hyping of this is going to be incredible. We're all sharing how excited we are about it. But by asking confidently and clearly while highlighting the value you bring, easier for clients to say yes. And so you can't leave it hanging, and you can't wait for them to initiate the close. You do that. So hard until you use a lot, and then it becomes easy. It's learning lines for play. Scripting yourself, finding some version lines that work for you will help you to not have quotes go unanswered. So I do say them out loud. Say them out loud, say them in the mirror. It might sound dumb, but you do get comfortable with sale. Because if you don't ask, you won't get it. Not always, but most of the time, you really do need to ask for the sale. So our final thoughts on researching and quoting. First of all, know the client, understand their preferences, budget, and special, and that is going to be that qualifying element from last week. Know which suppliers do what is going to save you time and streamline that process. Verify availability, real-time availability for accommodations, flights, and tours. This changes all the time. I had someone who's and 4 days why, and all of the balconies on the one side of the ship that we were looking at, where there had been like 10, all of them were gone. Yep. And this cruise is until like next year. So some group came in and took up all those balcony rooms. Yep. So you snooze your options. Look at multiple suppliers with the best choices and experiences. Offer choices. Give the client three or so options with differences in pricing, style, location, etc., and justify why you've given them those choices. This one is perfect for you because this for you because so that they understand why you chose those. Consider seasonality. Be mindful in low seasons for availability, and also in the Caribbean, be aware of when the seaweed is washing ashore in certain areas of the Caribbean. When hurricane season is. Not that bad for cruising because they can always sail around the weather, but all inclusives, an island stays put. So keep that in mind when you're looking at pricing and seasonality. Check inclusions. Verify what's included. Meals, transfers, tours to avoid any hidden costs or surprises. Be transparent with the fees. Make sure you've included all taxes, fees, service charges, and note if anything will be due at the hotel, fees, local taxes, etc. Important dates in the quote, like this is the deposit date and amount, and this is when the final payment is due. Include any dining or excursion or reservation dates, deadlines in that. So understand that. Know the destination. Be well versed enough that when they ask you questions, you can answer confidently, or say, "Give me a day, I'm gonna find that answer for you." But make sure you understand that destination. Always respond. Be well versed in language, attractions, climate, customs, travel document requirements. If a client is going somewhere, document that they fill out before they go, you need to know that. If your client's going to Europe, task visit.
That new thing that they
that new thing is coming. Europe has one too. That's new. That they have to fill out and pay. It's not that much, but they have to do it. Jamaica has the C5.
Yep.
There's an E something for or for Dominican Republic that you have to, like an E-doc that you have to.
Yeah, there's an E-doc you have to fill out for Dominican. And also be aware of the destination, what's going on in the travels, because if there's any concerns or anything like that, you need to be aware. Don't let clients surprise you.
And know things like my client who's going to Jamaica messaged me and said, "Oh my God, sister just sent me this. Jamaica's at a level 3 travel advisory. Should we be concerned?" And I said, "Katie, Jamaica's been at a level 3.
Yep.
Yes, there's crime, but it's not at the resort you're going to."
No. And they consider the resort, like with sandals, you will not feel safe anywhere else. I mean, they care because if something were to happen, it would be so detrimental to them. So,
well, I tell you, the that just appeared in Punta Cana recently this week, the brand is going to be suffering, I think, a little in this.
Oh gosh, yes. Oh, I believe so. Because it's huge.
And that destination, I can't imagine how many spring breaks are changing because of that destination. And feeling is one thing that happens, security is going up 1,000% in that whole area because the country's like, we can't have this.
No,
so
their whole livelihood.
Yep.
So this is going to be, because I had to tell my clients with Punta Cana, I'm like, be comfortable, and have that discussion beforehand too.
Absolutely. Add value. Just optional add-ons like excursions, insurance, like upgrades. Make sure you have those in your back pocket so you can know we can use room for this much more, or we could add the special dining experience for this much more to celebrate your anniversary or whatever. Understand the cancellation policies always and communicate those to your clients. If they have travel insurance that protect them, but if they do not to, they may be, if they choose to cancel within a number of days. And if any cash back, usually you have that.
And special vacation express. One cash back, the other ones are not. No differences on travel policy.
And then, of course, brand your quotes. Personalize your quotes, professional touch, or send directly from the supplier for transparency. Sure that they know that it's yours.
Yep.
And they're not using it to book with someone else. If it has your name on it, that reminds them that you did all the work for it.
Yep.
So if there are any questions on this, we'd be happy to take it. Next week, we're going to talk about the booking process. Just kind of the from start to finish. Once you're ready to book it, all the I's you have to dot and T's you have to cross to make sure you've done everything right from start to finish. Questions, of course, newagents@gatewaytravel.com always. But are there any other questions on the researching and quoting process or else? Happy to answer any questions while you have our attention.
Yes. And definitely not be afraid to pick our brains. If you need to talk to us or say, because honestly, I've been doing this for 10 years, never dove into the Hawaii realm until these past couple months. So it's so nice to have Holly and Al and other people and travel. That's why I think those fam trips are just fantastic. Because I was able to say, okay, guys, I need guidance. I do not know. I did the training in Hawaii. I've been running through there. But what do you guys think?
What's the, especially Mikkel. Mikkel's been to Hawaii and a big fan, and she has favorite destinations and things to do that she specifically says you have to do this.
Yes. So, video you created. Did you send that on email? Because I haven't been yet today. I will confess. Trish is there in the morning. I'm in there in the afternoon. Holly's there all day popping in and popping out.
I haven't been on today yet, so my dogs kept me up last night. They kept getting up like every 2 hours, not in the neighborhood, but I did not sleep well, so I took a little extra nap this morning. Marlene, what we're going to do is after this, you can just follow this out to rewatch this if you want to, but I also put the full slide deck in there. So I know there was a lot of stuff that we heard, a lot of detail. So you can go back and reference it absolutely. And all launches are done that way as well. The slide deck gets put up into the event space. I don't know if we're going to be able to do the slide deck in the web. It's PDF, so it should be.
I'm not for sure if it'll be in the portal, but it'll definitely always be in the Facebook group. So if you sent it to New Agent Support, Trish has probably seen it, and I haven't seen it yet. So I will go looking and let you know, because guys, videos catch attention. They just do. I never post pictures, a statement by itself. I always have a picture attached to it that you catch their eye.
Cherie is overwhelmed, but made her feel better. And you know what? What I love about Gateway, and I think it. I've been here 7 years. He's been here 10, 11,
almost 11.
Almost 11. I'm coming up on 7 couple months. Everybody on approachable.
Yep.
And to know that we are here for you as a resource. Don't ever and you are an independent travel agent. You have your own business, and that is yours. But you're not by yourself. You have to assist and stuff like that. One thing I am going to mention, because Mikkel specifically asked me to, something we're going to do going forward, which kind of falls into the researching and quoting, but so the booking realm, is this is one of our preferred partners, Sandals Resorts. We think they're fantastic, and we're going to do going forward some VIP nights, which is a really cool thing. It's like a meeting that you can hear clients to, and we let our BMs, who are fantastic, do a presentation and sales on sandals, and then at the end they offer incentives for booking that are special just to put into that VIP night. So if you have clients who are considering sandals, watch for that to come. I think we're looking at, I've got a hard date from probably in April, that we will have sandals VIP night. You can attend with clients virtually and learn all about Sandals Resorts. And
there's benefits for your clients and for yourself for booking during that time. So definitely be on the lookout for that, because that will be coming. Yeah, okay. So yeah, use your own trips as advertisement. I know I do. Videos, anything that you think might be interesting to someone. A lot of people, when they go on cruises, cruises especially, they're intimidated about the boarding process or think that, and you can go over and talk about things. Do a video of your stateroom, benefits of things like that. What's on the
He's always mad at me because he's like shoving luggage and stuff into the bathroom so we can take a nice picture of the clean stateroom before we.
I always
before you mess it up.
Dave, yeah, my husband gets mad at me too because you even look at this room. I'm gonna go do a tour and I'm gonna film everything. And yes,
Canva has some great video making options. CapCut is an app that people use a lot for making reels and things that are really eye-catching, like that. Jason, I've got a couple of, I just did a training on personal branding with our Elevate, and I have 2 articles, one on photography and one on video, that I will post in this event.
Please do.
I don't forget. The 2 articles are great resources on how to make your vacation or travel pictures better and how to make your videos better.
I did buy a gimbal. I think that's called.
Yes. Gimbal.
I was like, because my daughter was humiliated with me. I'm just saying. By that, I attach my phone to it. It's wonderful because it basically it completely. I'll have to bring it in for next launch because I phone on it. That's how I do the filming because with my husband's business, it's super important. Do videos on products and things like that. So I bought one, and it's just the most amazing thing ever.
Yeah, my husband is the video guy. I have many skills. I am not a great photographer, and we both have. I have a 14 Pro, a really great camera, right? John's pictures, his is a 14 Pro, but it's the bigger one.
It's Max, which is
his pictures are incredible. Mine are great, so I just let him do it, and he likes to it. So I just. But sometimes he's not with me, and I have to do it on my own. And I'm not great.
Yep, I'm with you.
That's my personal failing.
Well, okay, so I have the better stuff like that. But I like with him the convention part that he does. So they have my phone. So I got without my for like 6 hours, and it was like the hardest. I'm like,
it is incredible the capacity. I need to figure out how to get all my pictures off of here because they're crazy.
Okay, any suggestions? Like, okay, so cruise, like on a specific cruise or cruise line, anything like that, or what? Suggestions on what for a cruise?
Like what to film, what cruise line to take.
Because we've got lots of suggestions on cruises. Because Holly and I love cruising.
I do love cruising. I'm actually kind of sad that my next one's not till November, till our family.
Oh, same.
I'm watching for in the summer that I can jump on a cruise or cruise line.
Okay.
Jason, it really depends on what you want. If you're doing a family cruise, I would say Royal. It's recommend Carnival. I know people love Carnival. I'm not a fan. I find it a little. I don't know. It's not for me.
If you're going to do Carnival, you need to do a
cruise solo. Okay.
Okay. So that even okay. So you need to understand the difference between cruise lines. With Carnival, I have a newer ship or a longer sailing. With Royal, Celebrity, any of those are going to be fine. With Princess as well. It honestly is what you want to film and what you like, so you'll enjoy filming it.
Yeah, over 50 to be real. And so for me, like my Royal Caribbean cruise, I still love Royal Caribbean. It's not for me. It's too chaotic and too bright and flashy for me. I like great cocktail, great food, great entertainment, and a more upscale experience. Dining is always really good. For me, Royal was it was like climbing walls and racetracks, and that's just not for me. I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm gonna get the same experience in the fall with Celebrity. But Royal is the number one product Gateway sells. Is
Royal?
I'm sure it's Royal. Or is it?
I think Royal's getting up there.
I think Royal is or top 3 for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna quit my God help her. She calls Carnival, Walmart, and Royal Target.
That's funny. I really liked great experience on Royal. I never complained about cruising ever because all cruises are good cruises. You're not home. If you're gonna go for the first time,
oh, it's a great
cruise line,
and for solo travel,
it has more solo. Norwegian has solo rooms. It's one of the only cruise lines that has solo rooms without the single supplement. Viking, yes, Viking is very nice. Viking is of elevated experience, and Viking river cruises are.
And yes, I will always. But with Virgin Voyages, they are, especially with.
It's a totally different cruise model than anybody else.
It's just fabulous.
They don't have main dining room. They don't really have a buffet. They do have kind of a food court, sort of. They have about 20 dining options. They don't do a drink package. They do a bar tab, so it's kind of like a count that you spend out of for drinks, which means you could buy drinks for the cute woman at the end of the bar, Jason, if you're looking, or you can buy a round for the table with that bar that's not exclusive to the person, where other cruise lines, each person has their own drink package, and things that go with it are exclusive to the sailor. And so it's different. It's definitely different if it's a first cruise ever. I don't know if I would pick Virgin first. Virgin is a great cruise line, but it really is different than the others.
The only time that my friend Heather, her first was going to be on the Disney Wish, and I had to tell her, we are setting your expectations.
Yeah, Disney has very, very nice cruises, and they just exceed.
Disney says it just. I went on a ship that was 5 years old, and you could tell it was 5. I just got off the Disney Magic, and even though it was 98 is the year it debuted, you would never know. It is just gorgeous, and the way they do things, I'm just oh, yeah. But honestly, I love Celebrity, absolutely. But I, like Holly said, has these demands. I love the fact that I found these on the ship to hide, to just see that song, not just on my balcony, but just on the ship, just these nice areas.
We'll talk to us.
Yes, and there were 250 kids on board, and I only saw one.
On the Disney ship, I know there's great adults only areas on Disney, which is a great selling point. I think that's a really good thing. I think it depends, Jason, going back to your question, really, what do you want to sell? And what do you think is going to attract your clients? And think that your clients are going to be people who would want to try on a Virgin Voyages type trip, where they might be, it appeals mostly, I would say, to like 30 to 50-year-olds, sometimes younger. I think it's a very fun experience.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's Virgin Voyages going to be your fun, your adult, say 20s and 30s, things like that.
I think do have a top end. I mean, I think you'll see for older than 50, but
okay. You want fun.
You want to sell fun. Virgin for sure. Carnival then is going to be a party ship. It really is. If that's something you want, so you could sell a lot of them.
If you want
Norwegian,
fun, yeah, are called the fun ships for a reason. So honestly, but would do a 7-day or longer. Just 3 to 5 days get a little too fun.
I was sitting on a plane. We were going to get on a princess cruise, and the person in front of us were fraternity guys, and they were going to the Carnival cruise with their dates for a 3-day term party. And I was like, oh gosh, I don't even know if these girls have any idea what they're in for. It's going to be a little unhinged.
It's something. But you know what? Royal has a little bit of a party atmosphere too, but nothing is going to be more of a party than Carnival. I'm just going to say, and some people love that. But it's, like I said, it's all in what you want. Okay, now, Jason, when you narrow that down, send us an email. Holly and I will play with it and tell you what we think, because narrow it down. Go into Cruise Complete, put your dates, see what's all, and then let us know.
And completing the gold tier is great for Virgin. And honestly, our BDM for Virgin is great. She does webinars and stuff all the time, and she's lots of, so that's a good one. Okay, well, we are over. We like an hour and a half. We did a really long one, which is crazy, but that's okay.
A lot of detail.
It's a lot of research is a lot, and you get better at it. That you do this job, and you know more, so you don't have to dig as deep. Once you have some trips under your belt and you've done it a few times, you can go back to that well of information and draw from it without having to create a new line. So, all right. Well, we will have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy the holiday. It's St. Patrick's Day on Monday, and NCAA basketball is starting to kick off. My Spartans are playing tomorrow, so great.
You're very welcome. We're very happy to do this for you guys. Please join us on BAM. It's a blast. Definitely join us. It's November on the Celebrity Beyond. Super excited for it.
You can search it on a Facebook page. The listing will come up. Just type in BAM.
That would get spectacular. And if you want to wait till November, we're all going to be there. Otherwise, if you just want to go and let us know. But yeah, anybody, it's a party.
Okay. Have a great day, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.